Hey, so earlier this afternoon, after I got home from church, I sat in my car and did a live video about an unsafe person who showed up at my church and was talking to children in a highly inappropriate way. So that video in the last 3 hours has gotten nearly 6,000 views, and I have been flooded with texts and messages and people saying that this is stuff that they've needed to hear and this is things that have helped them and can I tell them more. So, and there was that one nice lady that I totally don't know who said, this lady rambles a bit, but her message is good. So, you know what? So I don't ramble quite so much because the last one was 18 minutes. I'll give you that. I wrote it down. I got notes this time instead of just being hopped up on the adrenaline of confronting somebody who did not have good intentions for the children in my church and doing it off the top of my head. So I want to talk about 5 red flags that set off my Preydar. I can thank my mama for that one. Predator radar. So when you get that feeling that something is just not quite right with this person, something's off, that gut feeling, you're like, I wonder why they're doing that. And maybe it doesn't even hit you until a little bit later. That's Preydar. So yeah, trust your Preydar. Go with your gut. If something tells you that this person is not safe around children, if something tells you this person is not interacting normally in a normal, healthy way, figure out what's going on. And don't be too shy to go ahead and ask questions and say something. I tell you what, if it's a misunderstanding, it can get cleared up. If it's a person who, has poor intentions, dangerous intentions, better risk the misunderstanding than let someone get hurt. So trust your Preydar. And that can go 2 ways. If you are a praying person, that can be pray, P-R-A-Y, dar. If we're just talking about people who are dangerous to the vulnerable, women, children, whatever, that's Preydar, P-R-E-Y-D-A-R. People who will prey on those who are innocent and vulnerable. So here are 5 things that, as I have kind of processed what happened today, that I realized were subliminal things that I noticed immediately that it took me a while to figure out and actually process through. So 5 things. 1, this person ignored the grown-ups, even those who greeted him, and focused on engaging the children. Now let me stop right here. Not every predator fits this profile. There are predators in churches who are the Scouts leader, the Pathfinders leader, the Sabbath school or Sunday school class leader, the elder, the pastor, any of these other people. So just because someone doesn't set off your Preydar does not mean they are a safe person. But I'm talking about the situation I observed today, which fit a classic type of profile. This is not every predator's profile, so just take that with a grain of salt. This does not describe every situation. So number 1, this particular situation, this person was ignoring the adults, even those who greeted him, and engaging with the children. That's what happened when he sat and talked to my son at the dining table right in front of me, completely ignored me. And then I found out from talking to some parents and some of our security personnel that he had ignored other parents and ignored other adults who had greeted him and tried to engage him in conversation. And he had been seen and observed engaging children on multiple occasions. This is not a member of my church. This is someone who has visited increasing numbers of times recently and then had been known to be a visitor some years past. So number 1, ignored adults, engaged children. 2, this person name dropped insider information to make my child feel comfortable and to make them feel like it was safe. He was safe. That's what happened when he told my son, I forgot your name, but I know your sister's name, and then repeated my daughter's name. That's insider information. That leads me to number 3. He was incredibly bold. This person is doing this right in front of me. The message that sends to a child is, I am a safe person because a child naturally will assume if this person is doing this in front of my parent, it must be okay, right? If they're getting away with it, they're doing this right in front of mommy, right in front of my dad, right in front of my mom, right in front of my grandparent, right in front of my safe people, then it must be okay. And a predator knows that. So the more they engage a child or a vulnerable target in front of safe people and get that child's trust in front of you, the more leverage they have, because anything they say or do later would be trusted because the parents or the safe people have not stopped them from interacting with the child when it was happening in front of them. So, recap, first 3, ignored the adults but engaged the children. Name dropped, number 2, name dropped insider information to make the child comfortable, name of his sister, information about our family, that kind of thing, public information, but still using it in a way to leverage trust. 3, bold and did it right in front of his mom, me, and that serves 2 purposes. Not only telling my kid that it's okay, but number 4 is it's calculated to keep the safe person, me, off balance. Because clearly, if someone was wanting to harm my child, our natural instinct would be that they wouldn't want to do it in front of me. They'd want to sneak off and do it somewhere else, right? So the boldness of doing that in front of me is to keep me off balance, right? Okay, you got that? Number 5, red flag that I didn't know at that time, because that right there was enough for me to have my Preydar going off. Predator, radar, Preydar. So that was enough. And when I followed up, and my son and then my daughter both said they'd never had conversations with this person, and that person, they didn't know who it was. So the person had been observing them clearly, which creepy, but anyway. Then I found out from security personnel and other parents that I spoke to after the fact that in years past, this same person visiting my church had been seen loitering outside the bathrooms and engaging young girls in conversation. The pattern at that time was the same as it had been today. That meant that the person disregarded and was dismissive and disengaged to any greetings or in a conversation with adults in favor of just communicating and engaging the interest of the children present. So that's a pattern. And it's a pattern that has been repeated multiple times at my church. Now, I didn't know about the previous ones, but it all fits together. Okay, so those are 5 ways that this particular predator type set off my Preydar today. And again, I'm going to repeat, because there's people watching now that were not watching earlier. And hi, all of you who are there right now. I hope you will all share this on your page. Actually, if you are doing this, because I'm going to do 9 ways that this person tried to silence and intimidate me to keep me from confronting him next. That's what I'm doing right now, just coming up. So if you can share this on your page right now, click share at the bottom of the page. And I will put the link to the original video that tells this whole story of what happened today at my church and the person that I felt was a predator to the children there. I will put that in the description of this when I'm done with the live video. But so just while we transition here, those were 5 things that were red flags. This is the thing, not every predator fits this profile. Some are way slicker, some are way smarter, some are way more subtle and not in your face like this guy was.